Welcome to the RuneScape Herald with Satomi Logan. Howdy. Apologies for my absence from the RuneScape scene. Sometimes the lack of new content can lead to a hiatus, or what we commonly refer to as burnout in the gaming world. Burnout is a prevalent issue that many individuals experience across various forms of content consumption. Whether it's watching movies, YouTube videos, or immersing oneself in video games. Nowadays, burnout is particularly associated with work or gaming, and it can have significant impacts on one's mental and physical well-being. For now, we will stick with gaming, or, as my name implies, with RuneScape. Since last year with the introduction of the necromancy and all the so-called content following it with the hero pass and holiday events that were rather subpar in many scapers' eyes, it almost felt like Jagex was just giving us a slap in the face and wanting us to consume their content they thought was worth being pushed onto the public. But the public pushed back hard, forcing Jagex to rethink their whole plan on how they released and made content for the game as a whole. Most of the MTX in the game had just been XP and skilling related items that helped you progress through certain skills faster because of how grindy and mundane they were to train. As an Iron Man player myself, I wasn't affected by these too much and welcomed it as it was a nice break from what they were pushing and limited the amount of MTX I could view. But how does this tie into burnout? I hear you asking, I'm getting there. For me, the burnout point was just after the Halloween event leading into the Christmas event, as they introduced a new Christmas-style event that to me was just boring and not worth the time. Not to mention how broken and easy necromancy made RuneScape combat feel. I started to look into other games and saw no drive to keep playing RuneScape because there was no challenge in the combat, and being a maxed iron already, I saw no need to go for other skills. Yes, I could comp my account or achieve true max with the 120 skills. But honestly, why? RuneScape is a game made to be a time suck. It'll come with time, so I'm in no hurry to do so. Much less comp, because then I'm only going to keep that for a month before another thing is added that I'll have to chase. I played around with Destiny 2 for a while, enjoying that until I had a falling out with Clan over points of view. Then Gamergate 2 Electric Boogaloo kicked off, and most of my viewpoints became validated as the gaming industry has become rotted with DEI and ESG push into video games, making nearly everything unplayable. That is until Helldivers 2 dropped almost 2 months ago and showed the entire games industry how to make a decent game in 2024. It wasn't pushing DEI or ESG and was just you the player fighting bugs and bots on planets for managed democracy. While challenging and fun, I've poured myself into the game because of how new and exciting it was to be part of a story and feel like I'm making a difference. Helldivers 2 showed that a live service game does not have to focus on MTX pushes and consistent content overload to keep players happy. Giving them a goal and a good story to follow will keep a player interested enough for a long time. The gameplay in this video right now is of me just having fun and enjoying the challenge of doing something new that doesn't hate me for not spending a lot on the game itself. RuneScape 3 is still a fun game, mind you, and I'll never outright just quit the game unless a mod came out and said, I should just quit the game. Even then, I don't know if I would because of how much time I have invested into RuneScape. I know I went off topic there, but it helps set the stage for my return back into RuneScape, albeit slowly. To help me discuss more about burnout, I reached out to another fellow YouTube RuneScape content creator, Let's Discuss RS, who has been going through a form of burnout himself. I asked him 3 different questions, the first being, while RuneScape offers a vast gaming experience, how did burnout contribute to your loss of interest in the game? To which he replied with this answer.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Let's Discuss RS on YouTube, and Logan was nice enough to ask me for my thoughts on burnout within video games, specifically relating to RuneScape, and then he had some other questions for me about kind of the state of the gaming industry in general. So here are my thoughts. So the first question that Logan has for me is, while RuneScape offers a vast gaming experience, how did burnout contribute to your loss of interest in the game? And, I find it funny that Logan sort of set it up perfectly for me by mentioning that RuneScape offers a huge variety of activities, as that's sort of a perfect segue into my first reason for burnout. And that is when I heavily focus on only sort of one aspect of the game. I realize how vital it is in a game like RuneScape to set yourself up with some both long and short-term goals, as you can get in this, rubber banding effect where you almost get paralyzed by the fact that there is so much to do in the game. And that can be extremely overwhelming for people. Kind of like, they just have so many options on where to start that they just don't start something at all. But for me, on the other hand, I love having options because I often get super burnt out grinding the same type of content. Not necessarily the grind themselves, but sort of the category of the gameplay loop. I'll find myself getting increasingly exhausted, sort of just solely doing clues, solely focusing on money making, solely going for boss logs, or solely skilling for 200 mil. I find it super healthy to sort of cycle through the various ways in which to interact with the game. And I think that many players kind of get in these real cozy pockets of comfort around particular parts of the game that they're either really good at or, they find satisfying for themselves. And yet, I feel like if we, or me in particular, aren't getting different experiences, whether it's from maybe other games on the side that we're sort of playing simultaneously, or just from within RuneScape itself, that leads particularly for me to burnout and just really quickly sort of draining my interest of the game.
And he's right. RuneScape is such a huge game that it feels like it's pulling you in multiple different directions, each item vying for control of your attention. It's honestly overwhelming to most new players, which is why the game needs to take a step back from content creation and focus more on quality of life improvements and lore building. He continues with his point on burnout with this point I find to be of interest.
The second point I wanted to make in regards to burnout is the fact that, talking and just sort of community within the game just isn't the same anymore. And what I mean by that is, just for a little context, I started playing RuneScape back in late 2004, 2005. That was, for me, going from 8th grade into my freshman year of high school. And back in those days, we didn't have the technology like we do today. We didn't have Discord, where you could build community off-site, away from the game, where you could just jump in voice call, or you could have all these bots that are giving you notifications for when certain activities happen and all this type of stuff. And back in those days, the whole reason to play an MMORPG, especially RuneScape, was so that you could jump online and talk with your friends inside of the game. Now, because that is no longer really a thing and a lot of just sort of in-game chatter doesn't happen, it can be really sort of disheartening, and that often will actually sort of lead to my burnout as well, where, there's just no real great conversation to be had within the game anymore. And that's not to say that it obviously doesn't happen, because it does. I mean, people will always be talking within the game. But with the advent of Discord and other sites, everything's taken sort of offline, I guess you could say. And, so, that shows up for me inside of the game. I want to be bossing and skilling and interacting with my clan. And a lot of the times, a lot of chat rooms and various things within the game are just sort of dead. And it's sort of sad. So, I understand sort of the, I guess, culture, of, there's nothing wrong with wanting to just play the game while you watch Netflix or listen to Spotify or whatever. I mean, I certainly do that a lot myself. But, I do get burnt out just, because I always sort of want to log into the game and I want to talk to people. I really, really, really do. So, that is, I think, the second point that I wanted to make, which is just the fact that, it's just sort of sad that there's not as much of a community, I guess, inside the game, at least from my opinion.
Again, he is right. RuneScape has built such an expansive world, it's easy to get lost in. The community side of the game has taken such a huge hit that it makes playing the game feel like you're isolated and alone in a game which was possibly the first form of social media for most players. They would log into RuneScape after school or work and chat with friends and meet up to play around for a bit. He finishes off with this last point on burnout.
And the third point that I wanted to make in regards to what burns me out in RuneScape personally is just this efficiency-scape mindset that I sometimes get myself into. Now, I'm pretty good, honestly, at sort of being able to kind of take a step back and kind of evaluate the way I play the game, I guess you could say. And there's obviously nothing wrong with wanting to be efficient in the game. But it does contribute to a loss of interest in the game for me, I think, over time. When, I constantly want to be thinking about, I don't know, like when I'm skilling or something like that, it just, like, always, I don't know, making sure my tools are augmented and have the right perks on them. Like, I'm always need to be on top of, like drinking consumables, like perfect juju potions, or, making sure my summoning familiar is always always out. So I have like a, +8 invisible mining boost, or, it could be a whole number of things. And, that's fine. Like, you're going to be getting the best XP rates you can. And, if that's how you want to play, then cool. But for me, yeah, I don't really super enjoy that way of playing. I do it, and so I am guilty. But yeah, I think that is one of the main reasons also why I tend to burn out quickly. When, I just need to remind myself, like, I'm playing a video game for fun. And my idea of fun is I just want to log into the game, and I just want to chill. I just want to relax. I want to just do what I want to do. I don't have the need to maybe complete something in a certain amount of time or this or that. I just want to come in and, work towards something and, feel like I'm making some progress, and I'm good. I'll come back tomorrow. We'll do it again, and we'll have fun. So, those are sort of my 3 points that I'd like to make for why I personally kind of burn out of RuneScape. And, I guess those things could also, contribute to why I sometimes burn out in other games as well. Not those specific examples, obviously, but maybe kind of those guidelines in general. So, yeah, those are my thoughts. Thank you.
I enjoyed asking Let's Discuss RS about the topic of burnout, and it made me realise what contributed to my own burnout. RuneScape is a marathon, not a sprint. Take your time with it and enjoy different parts individually in the game. Don't be so quick to want to complete everything in the fastest time possible, and don't hold yourself up to the level of another player in the game or the streamers you watch on Twitch or Kick. Enjoy this game and take breaks so you can keep enjoying it to the fullest. Thank you for watching this video through to the end. I very much appreciate it and hope you found this to be insightful and help you think if you're going through a form of burnout yourself. Take care of yourself first and your mental state. This has been Satomi Logan with the RuneScape Herald. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more RuneScape related content, and I will see you next time.